then he found a way of displaying it. Here, for instance, what I've done is for this painting, he used a color code to show, so he had not only a thread count, but he would show the deviation. I mean, what he would get locally would be how much horizontally, how many threads do I have, but how much does that deviate from the average over the whole picture? And how much does the angle deviate from true horizontal in the whole picture? And he would use the color display in order to make that visual. And what then occurred is that you have a kind of fingerprint of your canvas. And if you then take two paintings that come from adjoining pieces of canvas, I mean, often artists, in order to save money, would buy a huge piece of blank canvas and then cut it to different stretchers. And so they would have many paintings that came from the same piece of canvas. They're called, and now they coined a name for this, they're called roll mates. They come from the same roll of canvas. And so here, with this, because now they have this beautiful, very detailed analysis of the thread count, they can see that the paintings are roll mates. And for instance, for these paintings by Van Gogh from its other period, you can see they've been on the roll now, placed like this, because we have in one weave direction, we have information that places them, and the other places them like this. And so, which is very interesting. Actually, they have from the same roll, they have some paintings by Gauguin, because they were living at the same place in Arles, and they were using pieces of the same canvas. This actually has led to, in cases where authentication wasn't, I mean, there's a Velázquez painting that had been de-authentified, and it's now re-authentified, based on the fact that it used canvas that Velázquez clearly was only using himself and not sharing with his students. And, okay, the first, here's another project that in which I was involved, that actually does have to do with the Van Gogh, and that we call maybe 6 millimeters under. So after the first workshop, the art historians gave us from the art conservators from the Van Gogh Museum gave us a task. And the task was, we have all these paintings here by Van Gogh, and we have other paintings that inspired him or that are copies of and so on. Can you distinguish styles? And so we worked on that. But what was much more interesting then is that when I talked about that at the first workshop, somebody came up from the audience, a man called Joris Dick and Koen Janssen, who are chemical engineers, but Joris Dick also has a degree in art history. And they were using techniques that had been used for material science on paintings and had done something very interesting. And what they had done created quite a stir when they did this work. And he asked whether maybe we could help him with some image analysis in order to make it clear. So let me tell you about this. This painting by Van Gogh is a study he did in the Paris period, in his early Paris period. It's just a study of grass in bloom, on faulty grass. And beneath this painting, if you turn it on its side and you look at its X-ray, you know it was known that there was something else, a portrait. I mean, and that's not uncommon. Actually, Van Gogh often reused canvas for not for his major paintings, but for smaller studies. If he felt he had learned everything he could from this particular study, he would just paint it over again and do another painting on top. So about 30% of his paintings have another one underneath. In this case, people were especially interested because this is a portrait from his Milan period, which was in the Netherlands before he joined his daughter Theo in Paris. And people were interested in this particular painting because he had written a letter. I mean, the correspondence between Vincent and Theo has been completely conserved, and they had a very sustained correspondence all their adult lives. And there's a letter in which he writes to Theo, I've been experimenting with a very dark palette to characterize color. And I think I'm succeeding better. I'm sending you here one in which I feel I've succeeded very well. And that letter is preserved, and that painting was not found. And since this is a painting from the Paris period, people thought maybe this painting underneath. Now, why would he have covered it over? Well, he changed his style completely. So something that he valued before, he might have thought, oh, well, that's my kindergarten stuff. I mean,